Hi, Peter Charles here of Hooked for Life Fly Fishing, and in this video we're going to look at active nymphing again, but not necessarily using the lift method that I showed in other videos. What I want to point out with this one is that anytime we're actively moving the nymph, making it swim, making it rise, whatever we're doing, it's really active nymphing. And the method I'm going to show in this video, I've done for years. I've caught resident trout on it. I've caught steelhead using this technique. I've caught chinook salmon using this technique. Oh my, when you catch a chinook with it, you dead drift the wet fly towards the chinook, and then before it gets there, it pulls away, and that big chinook just, bam. That gets the blood going. I've caught smallmouth bass using this method. I've also caught carp doing it as well. So it's a very, very appropriate way. It's essentially a dead drift followed by a swing, or I say dead drift, it's not really all that dead drifting. You are moving it to a certain extent. But it's a more or less of a dead drift, and then you start to swing it, lift it, whatever you want to do with it. And you can use it targeting too. You can see, I'm going to show you how I do sort of an area coverage, and then I target a spot. So let's get started with this video. Now, I'm using the bubble bead pheasant tail fly. I've got a video on that, and it penetrates extremely well despite being not too heavy. I'm using, I'll stop there for a second. I'm using my NRX 8.5 foot 4 weight, so I was set up for dry fly fishing. And I think that's the benefit for what I'm showing here, is if you go out set up for dry fly fishing and there's no hatch happening, or the hatch shuts down and the fish stop rising, you can flip over to a nymph still using your dry fly leader and you know the setup that you were using for dries. Which is exactly what I'm doing here. So I've got your standard 9 foot 5X dry fly nylon leader. No weight on it at all. Just the fly. That's all I'm doing. And you can see I've got a little lift there. Drop it down. Pick it up. Put it up. And then I'm following it down, tracking down. It's sort of like Euro nymphing. And you know, a little bit of movement at the end. And then repeat. Rinse, repeat. That one I put a little bit more slack in at first to sink it a little bit further, because I wasn't touching bottom, so I wanted to get it down a bit more. And then I start targeting that wood pile, and you can see I'm casting up to the wood pile and trying to get the fly almost underneath it without losing it. So now at this point I'm saying, okay, fine, I've worked that area over, let's change spots. And I'm going to work just downstream of the wood pile where the water's quite a bit deeper and slower. So I make a cast, a little bit of a mend, and we just a little bit of a lift here to get started, and boom, fish on. So this replicated, I'm just going to show you the one here. I hooked up a few small fish like this. Exactly this method, just using that bubble pheasant tail, bubble bead pheasant tail fly. Penetrates extremely well, quite flashy on a bright day, and they really liked it. And as I say, just basically just cast it out, let it swing, pick it up, move it, twitch it. I've used stripping at times, you know, just a little pop of a strip here and there. There's lots of different things you can do with a nymph beyond just letting it tumble down through the current. And so I say the advantage of this is if you're set up for dry fly fishing and you've got your typical dry fly rod with your typical dry fly leader, and all of a sudden hatch dies off, you know, fish shut down, they stop rising, tie on a nymph like this bubble bead nymph and just work it. You don't have to worry about indicators. You don't have to put split shot on. You just use your dry fly leader, tie one of these nymphs on, bang, go. You can use pretty well any Euro style nymph, anything with a good bit of weight that you can get to penetrate. I would say it works well in fast runs that are very deep, you know, a couple of feet deep at most, or really slow, deeper runs. If it was a fast and deep, it probably wouldn't work very well. You wouldn't get the fly down where it needs to be. But other than that, you can see in this two environments I had that fast run at the beginning, that was only about 2 feet deep, so I was able to touch bottom on occasion in there when I'd been casting earlier before I started the camera. And as I say, when I moved into the deeper water, moved a lot slower, and the fly got down, no trouble. So keep that in mind. Active nymphing isn't just lifting. You can use it in a variety of ways, and I've done this for years for a variety of species. It works like a charm. So that's it for active nymphing. As I say, it's not just the lift. You can use all sorts of different techniques to move your nymph, make it look alive, and a lot of different species will hit it. Cheers.